Welcome back, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to episode 2 of the Unexplained and Unsolved podcast. To start off, I would like to say thank you to everyone who watched the first episode and left all those nice comments down below. And I would also like to say welcome to all the new subs that have tagged along ever since we posted our first episode. So in this episode, we wanted to go into even more depth about the legend itself, just because there's so much about the legend that one episode just doesn't do enough justice. And we're just also deeply intrigued after all this research that we've done. And another exciting thing is we actually got a story / just like more information from a TikTok follower / friend of the show / subscriber on YouTube that reached out when we posted our first TikTok. So with that being said, I'm gonna hand the mic over to Dakota, and he's gonna let you know about the whole interaction and read you the story that Boone has shared with us.
Alright, so what he commented on our first episode is he said, "I'm from Utah and I live close to that area. My grandpa was in the tribe that caused the curse, so if you need information, I got you." So let me go to his message that he had sent us. Alright, so he said, "My grandpa was in the tribe until he was about 5 years old, and he still has family in the tribe. Told me many stories of the Skinwalkers. Skinwalkers, before they were a curse, they were medicine men, people that found medicine and made it for evil purposes. And the original word for Skinwalker was Loshi." I don't think I said that right. I probably butchered that.
I mean, yeah.
But it's a bit of a hard word to say.
Yeah, we'll put it down in the video. Just you guys can try to sound it out yourself and say everything.
And he said, and the reason they became Skinwalkers in the first place is because they were cursed by another tribe. I don't remember which one. During the pioneer days, tribes people were sold into slavery, and Navajo sold a lot of other tribes into slavery. So these other tribes got mad and cursed them to become Skinwalkers. There's a lot of holes in there because I had to rush it, but I recommend a great source. So then he put the link to what we'll be using today, the source that we'll be using today. He said, "Oh yeah, and in Navajo culture, it's considered bad to wear predator skin animal, such as wolves and stuff, but it's okay to wear sheep and leather from a cow is fine to wear."
So yeah, with that being said, that was pretty interesting stuff that he shared with us. Like I said, thanks again, Boone. What's his TikTok name again?
Boone 198.
Okay, yeah. So if you guys want to check out his TikTok, it's Boone underscore, right?
Yeah, Boone underscore 198.
Yeah. So show him some love since he showed us some love, and yeah, it's pretty interesting. I don't remember if we heard the part where it's bad to wear the predator skin.
Yeah, that was a new part.
That we didn't
hear that before.
Yeah, we didn't add that in the first episode. So after we read the interaction that Boone had with us, we just felt like we should touch up even more about Skinwalkers. Like I said, just because I feel like one episode just isn't enough to really, I guess, keep everybody up on everything there really is to know. So do you want to Navajo Skinwalkers, witches of the Southwest? In the Navajo culture, a Skinwalker is a type of harmful witch who has the ability to turn into / possess or disguise themselves as an animal. The witch is called, I know I'm going to butcher it too, Naldushi by Navajo, which translates to with it goes on all fours. It is just one of several types of Navajo witches and is considered the most volatile and dangerous for the Navajo people. Witchcraft is just another part of their spirituality and one of the ways of their lives. As such as witchcraft has long as been a part of their culture, history, and traditions. Witches exist alongside humans and are not supernaturals. The Navajo believes that there are places where power of both good and evil are present and that those powers can be harnessed for either. Medicine men utilize these powers to heal and aid members of their communities, while those who practice Navajo witchcraft seek to direct the spiritual force to cause harm or misfortune to others. This type of Navajo witchcraft is known as Witcher Way, which uses human corpses in various ways, such as tools from the bones and concoctions that are used to curse / harm or kill intended victims. The knowledge of these powers is passed down from elders through generations. The Navajo are a part of a larger culture in the area that also includes Pueblo people, Apache, Hopi, Ute, and other groups that also have their own versions of the Skinwalker story. But each includes a malevolent witch capable of transforming itself into an animal. Among the tribes, a number of stories and descriptions have been told throughout years about the Skinwalkers. So I'm going to pass this along to Dakota, and he's going to read the second part.
Says, living their lives as respected healers or spiritual guides who later chose their powers for evil. Though they can either be male or female, they are more often male. They walk freely among the tribe during the night and secretly transform under the cover of the night. In order to become a Skinwalker, he or she must be initiated to the end. Initiated by a secret society that requires the evilest of deeds. The killing of a close family member, most often a sibling. After this task has been completed, the individual then acquires supernatural powers, which gives them the ability to shapeshift into animals. Most often, they are seen in the form of coyotes, wolves, foxes, cougars, dogs, and bears, but can take the shape of any animal. They then wear the skin of the animal they transform into, hence the name Skinwalker. Sometimes, they also wore animal skulls or antlers on top of their heads, which brought them more powers. They choose the animal they wanted to turn into, depending on the abilities needed for a particular task, such as speed, strength, endurance, stealth, claws, and teeth, etc. They may transform again if trying to escape from pursuers. Because of this, the Navajo consider it taboo for its members to wear the pelt of any predatory animal. However, sheepskin, leather, and buckskin are acceptable. The Skinwalkers are also able to take possession of the bodies of human victims if a person locks eyes with them. After taking control, the witch can make its victims do and say anything that they wouldn't otherwise.
Once they were shapeshifted, one way the others could tell that they were not a real animal is that their eyes are very different than those of the animal. Instead, their eyes are very human, and when lights are shined on them, they turn a bright red. Alternatively, when they are in human form, their eyes look more like animals. The evil society of the witches gather in dark caves or secluded spaces for several purposes: to initiate new members, plot their activities, harm people from distance with black magic, and perform dark ceremonial rites. These ceremonies are similar to other tribal affairs, including dancing, feasts, rituals, and sand painting, but were corrupted with dark connotations. The evildoers are also said to engage in necrophilia with female corpses, commit cannibalism, incest, and grave robbers. During these gatherings, the Skinwalkers shapeshift into the animal forms or go about naked, wearing only beaded jewelry and ceremonial paint. The leader of the Skinwalkers is usually an old man who is very powerful and a long-lived Skinwalker. Skinwalkers also have other powers, including reading others' minds, controlling their thoughts and behavior, causing disease and illness, destroying property, and even death. Those who have talked of other encounters with these evil beings describe a number of ways to know if a Skinwalker is near. They make sounds around homes, such as knocking on windows, banging on walls, and scraping noises on the roof. On some occasions, they have been spied peering through windows. More often, they appear in front of vehicles in hopes of causing serious accident.
It is said that, in addition to being able to shapeshift, the Skinwalker is also able to control the creatures of the night, such as wolves and owls, and to make them do its bidding. Some are able to call the spirits of the dead and reanimate the corpses to attack their enemies. Because of this, the Indians rarely ventured out alone. Its supernatural powers are uncanny, as they are said to run faster than a car and have the ability to jump up high cliffs. They are extremely fast, agile, impossible to catch, and leave tracks that are larger than those of any animal. When they have been seen, they have been described as not quite human and not fully animal. They are usually naked. Some have reported to be seen wearing tattered shirts or jeans. The Skinwalker kills out of greed, anger, envy, spite, or revenge. It also robs graves for personal wealth and to collect much needed ingredients for the use of black magic. These witches live on unexpired lives of their victims, and they must conditionally kill or perish themselves.
Skinwalkers and other witches have long been blamed for all the manner of unexpected struggles and tragedies throughout the years, including sickness, drought, poor crops, and sudden death. Even smaller individual problems such as windstorms during dances, alienation of affection by mates, the death of livestock, and reversal of fortune were often believed to be the work of a witch. There's a picture, it's pretty, what does it say? Navajo prisoners taking the long walk. We'll also plug that into the episode. So after that, it says, this was most apparent with the Navajo witch purge in 1878, which initially evolved from a cultural response to so many people moving across and onto their lands. After a series of wars with the U.S. Army, the Navajo expelled from their land and forced to march to the Bosque Redondo, Fort Sumner in New Mexico, in what is known as the Long Walk of the Navajo in 1864. There, the people suffered from bad water, failed crops, illness, and death, reducing their numbers dramatically. After 4 years, the government finally admitted that they had made a mistake, and the Navajo were allowed to return to their homestead in the Four Corners area. During these years, many of the tribe's members were said to have turned into shape-shifting to escape the terrible conditions. In the meantime, the rest of the tribe were convinced that their gods had deserted them. Once the people had returned to their homeland, their conditions improved, but the dreaded Skinwalkers, for whom they blamed for years on the bleak reservation, were among them still. Accusations of witchcraft and hunting of Skinwalkers began when someone found a collection of witch artifacts wrapped in a copy of the treaty in 1868. The tribal members unleashed deadly consequences. The Navajo witch purge occurred in 1878, in which 40 Navajo suspected witches were killed in order to restore harmony and balances for the tribe. Today, most of the tales of sightings of these witches do not include death or injury, but rather are more trickster-like.
Numerous people have told stories of swift animals running alongside their vehicles, matching their speed. After a short period, however, they run off into the wilderness. Along the way, these animals sometimes turn into a man, who sometimes bangs on the hood of the car. Another story tells of a man who was making repairs on an old ranch home when he began to hear loud laughter coming from the nearby sheep pens. That would be scary to hear that. Thinking he was alone, he went to investigate and found all the sheep but one huddled in the corner of the pen. However, there was a lone ram separated from the group that was standing upright and laughing in a very human manner. After the man locks eyes with the ram, he sees that its eyes are not that of an animal, but very human-like. The animal then casually walks away on all four legs. Some say they have seen them running through the night, sometimes turning into a fiery ball, leaving streaks of colors behind them. Others have seen angry-looking humanoid figures looking down on them from cliffs, mountains, and mesas. In the 1980s, one of the most notable events occurred when a family was driving through the Navajo reservation. As they slowed to make a sharp curve, something jumped from the ditch. It was described as black, hairy, and wore a shirt and pants. A few days after this event, at their home in Flagstaff, Arizona, the family was awakened to the sounds of loud drumming and chanting outside their home. There were 3 dark forms of men outside their fence. However, these shadowy creatures were seemingly unable to climb the fence and soon left. These events occurred in all 4 corners of southwest Colorado, southeast Utah, northeast Arizona, and northwest New Mexico.
Okay, so this is the last part of the article. In the 1990s, a ranch in northeastern Utah, far away from the Navajo reservation, became the partial focus of Skinwalkers. Called the Sherman Ranch the Skinwalker Ranch. And the UFO Ranch, this place has a history of UFOs, aliens, cattle mutilation, and crop circles. Located near the Ute Indian Reservation, these people have long thought that the Navajo put a curse on their tribe in retribution for many perceived transgressions, and since then the Skinwalkers have plagued the Ute people. Witchcraft represents the antithesis of Navajo culture values and is not tolerated. They work to avoid it, prevent it, and cure it in the daily behaviors. However, when it exists, their laws have always said that when a person becomes a witch, they have fortified their humanity and the right to exist, so they should be killed. However, skinwalkers are notoriously hard to kill, and attempts are usually unsuccessful. Trying to kill one will often result in the witch seeking revenge. Successful killing generally requires the assistance of a powerful shaman who knows spells and rituals that can turn the skinwalker's evil back upon itself. Another alternative is to shoot the creature with bullets that have been dipped into white ash. However, the shot must hit the witch in the neck or the head. Traditionally, the Navajo will not speak with outsiders about these creatures for fear of retribution by the skinwalkers. For that matter, it is a taboo subject amongst the natives themselves. So, yeah, like I said, that was a really interesting article. It definitely had stuff that we didn't talk about in the last episode, but, you know, some stuff lined up with ours. Is there anything that you really took away from the article?
It definitely, like, cut down on, like, a lot of more stuff that we didn't talk about. It also has stuff that we did talk about, but, that we didn't go, like, full depth into, that it just, like, gave, detail. It gave, like, so much more detail and, everything that we needed. So
yeah, I really touched upon like every aspect of it.
Yeah, once again, that was the article was sent to us by Boone_198 on TikTok, so big shout out to him. Thank you very much for giving us that article.
So yeah, with that all being said, I think in the next episode we want to talk more about Skinwalker Ranch, and I guess kind of like try to debunk it, because from what we've been like reading, or what I've been reading, it seems like that like a lot of people in the community think that it's more of like a grift. What a grift is usually like people that are trying to make money off of a certain community. So a lot of people are thinking that the show is like just intently made just to like make money and, you know, attract people who are interested in these kind of videos and cryptids and everything. So we'll like talk about their story and then talk about people's theories about Skinwalker Ranch in the next episode. And that'll probably tie up this series, and then we'll probably move on to a next, like, you know, legend or cryptid. Yeah, is there anything else you wanted to say, Dakota, on the topic or anything? Or anything about, like, the next episode that you want to try to bring in?
Yeah, I think with the next episode, we're probably going to cut down on topics about Skinwalker Ranch. So if anybody has, like, good articles to look at about, like, Skinwalker Ranch for, like, the stories there and everything along that of Skinwalker Ranch, then please comment down below. Send us it, like, DM us on TikTok or
just, yeah, send us a message on YouTube or anything.
Yeah.
And then also I wanted to add, I think in the next episode we're gonna talk about, if it ends up being our last episode, we want to talk about like our personal stories too, just because like in the first couple episodes we really wanted to talk about like the legend itself and not so much about like us or, you know, like really anything else. So yeah, like I said, I think in the next episode we're gonna like talk about our possible like Skinwalker interactions, I guess, or you know, like encounters,
things that could possibly be an encounter with a Skinwalker, or maybe just like weird odd shaped animals, you know. Yeah,
just like anything that I guess really like relates to the topic. Like I said, because the next one is probably gonna be the last one, because we just want to do like a 3-part series. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much all we really got to add to this episode. Is there anything else you wanted to say before we end this episode? Okay, well, like I said, thank you everyone for listening and tuning in. Let us know down in the comments how we did on this episode. Like I said, our first episode was our first episode that we've ever like recorded, so we're still pretty new to it. So just let us know like what we can fix, what we can, you know, like really like try to practice on and try to, I guess, just like overall get better at. Because like I said, we're pretty new to this stuff, and we're, I guess, really novice to this kind of stuff, like YouTube in general. Like it seemed like it took us like a long time just to even try to get it like uploaded, just because like it was our first time ever doing that, or at least my first time ever doing it. Yeah, so thank you for everyone for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Yep, thank you everyone for who has followed us on TikTok, subscribed, liked videos, and commented. Thank you to everybody.
Yeah, thank you guys.